book together of the march all the way to Selma. I took pictures, I just snapped pictures. I walked from that Edmunds Pettis Bridge in Selma all the way to the Capitol steps in Montgomery. It took us 5 days and 4 nights. Slept every night on the ground wet. It rained every day. March is a funny month. We wake up in the morning, the dew would be just like snow, white on the ground. Cold, we put coats on, sweaters. By 12 o'clock, we so hot, we just coming out, tying sweaters around our waist, but we still walking. Now don't you think now the clans was not walking with us. They just went walking right along beside us, but they were everywhere, all around us. Now I remember the last note that I received, I heard read, I didn't take it. They would throw them at our feet, and they'd be wrapped in a rock. And this side, this said, Dear, spelled D-E-E-R, dear. So you know they're ignorant. Dear Martin Luther King, you will never make it to Montgomery. We got bombs planted all along the way. And we got a helicopter that's gonna drop poison gas on you. You better turn around, you and your little nappy heads, and get on back to where you came from. And get off our highway. This is what this note said. So I told them, I'm just one of the marchers. I don't have no authority. But I just told them I don't want to hear another. It was something to diffuse us, you know, make us want to turn around. And I didn't want to hear anymore. I said, don't read any more of those notes. We still got them. They still threw them to us. But they picked, I said, don't read them. I don't even want to hear them. I don't want to hear that. Because, you see, I don't care how many notes that they would have thrown, we weren't going to turn around. Only God would have, because we had made up my mind. We had made up mind. Dr. King stood up there on that Edmund Pettis Bridge, and he said, if you believe in freedom and justice, he said, come and walk with me. If you believe that earth has no sorrows that heaven cannot heal, come and walk with me. If you believe that truth, Christ to the earth, shall rise again, come on and walk with me. And do you know people? People came at by the thousand. It was 25,000 people gathered there. George Wallace sent his troops, and he said, turn those niggas around, we can't protect but 300. Now they're gonna tell some of this in the picture. But they said 25,000 marched, but didn't but 300. 300 went all the way. On the Edmund Pettis Bridge, they turned the rest of us around. But I was in that 300 that marched all the way. I said marched, but we walked. We stumbled. We just, feet were swollen, ankles swollen. But you know what? We had our made up mind. And we were determined that we were going to go all the way. We saw y'all coming. We saw y'all coming. You know, we saw y'all coming. I wrote Obama a letter. And I told him that we saw you 50 years ago. We saw you.
All right.
We We couldn't make out your face. And we didn't even know your name. But we knew you were coming. And we had to walk. Because if we didn't do that walk, he couldn't run. Because we had to knock down all of these obstacles that was in his way. We had to knock down degradation and segregation and immortality. All of these things stood in that man's way. If we walked out there, they said, niggas ain't never given. We gave our lives. We put our lives on the line. Nothing protection. We had no protection. And it said that we're gonna let the national guard y'all down there. Listen, less than a month ago, one of those people that was in the National Guard then, he came, he said, I saw the safe house on the computer. And he said, but I came here to tell you all, I was one of those that was guarding you all. And he said, I want to tell you, we didn't even have ammunition in our guns. 50 years later, I'm finding that out. So we really had no protection. But you know what? There's a man that sits high, and he looks everywhere.
Say that.
He sits high, but he looks everywhere. And he looked at those poor people walking down on Montgomery Highway, and he took care of us. He took care of us. We wasn't dependent on George Wallace and his walkers and his gun toters and his clans. We weren't afraid of them. Nobody was afraid. We walked out there on the name of that man that sits high and looks everywhere. These are some of the pictures that you're gonna see in the picture when you go. These are pictures. They just show some of the pictures, but we have them all. Before they asked for some, we sent them, and they used some of them. They didn't use all of them. This is a book that was put together. So when we first, and they're gonna show this when they first started. John Lewis, them started. Albert Turner, and all of them started walking. When I'm on this, we're going down through the town of Selma, and they're gonna show these folks there standing on the corner with the billy clubs, the beaters, as we pass through the city of Selma. And this is you're gonna see this in the movie. You're gonna see us coming, walking. Here we are, and there's John Lewis, Congressman Lewis now, and Jose Williams, and then there's two tall Mance, and that's Cotton Reader, and there's Albert Turner. Albert wore a white cap right there. He said, now I'm gonna wear this white cap. You watch this cap, because a lot of people that we don't want to get missed to each other. So he said, I'm gonna wear this white cap. And I told him, suppose somebody else had on a white cap. So he said, ain't nobody down there as ugly as I am gonna have on a white cap. So you just watch mine. So and y'all know Albert. If y'all know Albert, and if y'all know Albert, you know he's telling the truth.
Amen.
I wanted to show you the scene that you're gonna see that where they had Oprah, and Oprah played that part. And I thought she was a pretty good actor until then, but she really played this part. This is it. And they had her down there, but I'm down there too. I'm on the hill too. You can see my pocketbook, my purse. Now, this is where these highway patrolmen charged in on them and beat her. And I'm not look that that's my pocketbook. And I'm holding on to that purse because I had 50 cents in it. And I wasn't gonna let 50 cents back then went a long way.
Oh, yeah.
And I wasn't gonna let my 50 cents get away. And I'm holding on to my purse, and they were beating and knocking. And you see, I'm gonna show you Albert. See that white cap?
White cap.
He calling me. I heard him. I had got my bus full of sand and gravel. I heard him call my name, but I couldn't say a word. But that he's looking. So he finally finds me over here. And here he comes with this white cap again. I believe you're gonna see this too. You're gonna see this scene in there too. That's Miss Boynton. They thought they had killed Miss Boynton. And she's laying right there. And over here, then this scene in there too. You see that white cap? That white cap, Albert found me. I'm right down there. And he's pulling me from under there. This movie, this shows in the movie. This shows in the movie too. This true to the movie. The movie is true to partially. Only they said when we started, I noticed they said one thing that I noticed was wrong, but that was a minor thing to me.
Amen.
When they said that they told us they would give us 2 minutes. They said that in the movie. They give us 2 minutes to get off the bridge. But see, they told us 3 minutes. This man here, where is it? That black, he has a long black suit on. There he is, over here. He took his bullhorn, and he came out and he said, I will give you all 3 minutes to get off this bridge. He said, now you go home, go back to your church. He said, in fact, I don't give a damn where you go. Just get off this bridge. So Jose William picks up his bullhorn. He walks down the line of us, and he said, now, anybody that wants to can leave, and nobody will blame you. He said, because when we leave here, we don't know what we're going to meet. We don't know whether we're going to live or die, but we're going to take the trip anyway. So if you want to turn around and leave, nobody will blame you. He said, wait, nobody turned around. And when they stepped off, when John Lewis, them stepped off, and Jose and them, all of us stepped off right behind them. And that's when holy hell broke out. They started shooting tear gas. They showed this in the movie. They showed this in the movie. And I want the whole world to see. They need to see how they did us. When these folks sit at home and don't go and vote, somebody died for them.
That's right.
Somebody cried for them, and somebody was beaten down for them. You hear me? Just so they could have the privilege to vote.
That's right.
And and they showed it so vivid in that movie. And I hope the world see it. I'm so glad y'all could come by.
Amen.